welcome back. I am Harsh. Prisma has just released version 7 and many of you requested a simple guide on how to use it with Supabase. In this video, I will walk you step by step through the setup, installing Prisma V7, updating the schema, connecting it to your Supabase database, and generating the new Prisma client. It is a clean and beginner-friendly tutorial, so follow along and you will have Prisma V7 running with Supabase in just a few minutes. Let's get started. Alright, let's start by creating a fresh Next.js app. Open your terminal and run this command. This will set up a clean Next.js project that we will use for our Prisma V7 and Supabase integration. Now, let's run the project to make sure everything is working. In the terminal, type npm run there. This will start the development server. Open the URL in your browser, and if you see the default Next.js page, it means our setup is working fine. Now that our Next.js app is running, let's install Prisma version 7. Open your terminal and run this command. This will add Prisma V7 to our project so we can start using it with Supabase. Next, we need to install the Prisma Client for version 7, which allows our app to interact with the database. In the terminal, run this command. Once this is installed, we can move on to initializing Prisma in our project. Now that Prisma and the Prisma client are installed, let's initialize Prisma in our project. In the terminal, run npx prisma init. This will create a Prisma folder containing the schema.prisma file, and at the project root, it will create a .env file for our Supabase database URL, as well as a new Prisma config.ts file. This is part of Prisma V7 and holds a configuration for Prisma itself. With these files ready, we can move on to connecting Prisma to Supabase. Before we move on, let me quickly tell you what's new in Prisma V7. One of the biggest changes is how the database connection is handled. Previously, we would set the database URL in the .env file and Prisma will pick it up automatically from schema.prisma. In Prisma V7, the database URL is now configured in the new prisma.config.ts file. This makes the setup more centralized and easier to manage, especially if you are working with multiple environments or databases. Alright, let's switch to the browser and go to supabase.com. From here, click on Dashboard. Now head over to your organizations. If you haven't created one yet, just click on New Organization and set it up. I have already created mine, so I will go ahead and open it. To create a new database, click on New Project. Now enter the project name you want. Next, set up the database password. Then select the region for your database. And finally, click on Create New Project. So now you can see our database has been created. To connect and integrate this database with Prisma, click on Connect. Now click on Method and select Session Puller. Copy the Session Puller URL and paste it inside the database URL in your .env file. Next, we will also add the direct URL in the .env file. For the direct URL, click on Method and select Transaction Puller. Copy the Transaction Puller URL and paste it into direct URL in your .env file. Now enter the database password you set while creating the project and replace the your password placeholder with it. Now let's go to the prisma.config.ts file and add our URLs. As you can see in the database URL is already added. Now we need to add the direct URL. And in Prisma V7, the direct URL must be added as the shadow database URL. So we will set it there. With our configuration done, Prisma V7 is now fully connected to Supabase. So now let's move to the schema.prisma file and create our first model. As you can see, I have created a simple model. It has an ID field of type int that auto increments, a name field of type string which I have marked as unique, and I have also added created add and updated add fields to track when the record is created and updated. Now that our model is ready in schema.prisma, we first need to generate the Prisma client so our Next.js app can use this model. To do this, open your terminal and run npx prisma generate. Once the client is generated, we can push our schema to the database by running npx prisma db push. This command reads our schema and updates the database accordingly. You will see a message confirming that the table has been created. After this, our Prisma model is fully synced with Supabase and we can start using it in our Next.js app. To check if the table was created, let's switch back to Supabase and go to the table editor. And here you can see the table for our model that we just pushed. And that's it. We have successfully integrated Prisma V7 with Supabase, created our first model and pushed it to the database. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future Prisma and Supabase tutorials. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.